Hello everyone, this is Upesh Yadav from BTech first year presenting a presentation on the topic communication and process taught by our teacher Mr. Avinav Srivastav. The word communication is derived from the Latin word communicare. Communicare means to participate or to transmit. The root of the communicare is communis, which means to make common or to share. In, in the old French, communication is referred as communication, and in the early 15th century, it was referred as communication act. The communication was referred as the act of imparting, discussing, and debating and conferring. So now we will see what is communication. It is the default question that arises on the top after we heard the topic communication. Communication is the process of sharing information from one person to another person using any medium. The feedback is shared to the ideas, fact or message or emotion that is communicated. It may be positive or negative. It is also the part of communication. A good communication creates mutual understanding and confidence. There are some basic requirements of communication. Communication requires a sender, person who initiates the communication and shares messages, and a receiver is the person who receives the message, interpret message, and give the feedback for the conveyed message. The process contains various elements which we will discuss. The elements of communication are namely sender, receiver, encoding, decoding, channel, feedback, message, environment. Sender, the person who is conveying the message, thought, opinion, emotion, or sharing ideas with other people or in out the organization is called sender. The receiver, the person who receives the message, try to understand it and give his feedback on the conveyed message, whatever he has understood. While the sender is sending his message, he thinks of it, and that process is called as encoding. In the language, the process of framing the thoughts in the conveyable manner that takes place in the sender's mind is called encoding. The sender conveys message after encoding, and when this message reaches the receiver tries to decode it, and the process is named as decoding. The process of understanding the conveyed message that takes place in the receiver mind so that he could give his reaction or feedback is called as decoding. The medium by which message is communicated is called as known as channel. The medium may be speech, may be writing, may be memos, may be template, anything, maybe chat messages, anything that in the from which the sender sends the message is called channel. Feedback, the after the receiver receives the message, he gives the feedback for the conveyed message. Either it's positive or it's negative, or he doesn't understand it, anything that the reaction he gives is called the feedback of the message. The message is the data or thought or information that sender is trying to convey. It it can be any facts, figure, or anything else. Whatever the sender tries to convey is known as message. For a good communication, we need a good environment. The surrounding in which communication is taking place is called basically known as environment. The surrounding in which the communication takes place without any disturbance is called the positive environment for communication. For example, if we are trying to convey our message but there are sounds outside, maybe the receiver may not be able to hear the message properly, or he may not able to understand the meaning of the message, etc. There are various communication styles. Mainly we are covering here the aggressive, assertive, passive, passive aggressive. In aggressive communication, communication tends to communicate aggressive communicator tends to express their thought, opinion, and needs forcefully and without any regard for the rights or feeling of others. They may dominate conversation, use harsh language, and exhibit confrontational behavior to assert their dominance or get what they want. Aggressive communicators often disagree the perspective and boundaries of others. This this type of communication often don't lead good at in long term perspective. It can be good only at once. Assertive communicators express their thoughts, opinion, and need confidently and respectfully, while also considering the rights and feeling of others. They communicate their idea effectively, express themselves clearly, and stand for their rights without violating the rights of others. Assertive communication can express disagreement or assert their needs while maintaining respect and open communication. They actively listen, express empathize, and seek win-win solution. This kind of communication is nice for the daily use, and this should be carried out because in this the both the sender and receiver both feel that their thoughts prevail, and this helps in building long time relations. Passive communication tends to avoid expressing their thoughts, opinion, or needs. They may be hesitated to speak up, often prioritize others' preferences over own, and have difficulty setting boundaries. Passive communication may suppress their feelings, completely others' demands, and avoid conflict or confrontation. They may have difficulty answering themselves and may feel unheard or taken advantage of. This type of conversations are not likely be in his or her in his or her in his or her favor. Likely they are not they are likely they are not able to express their feeling, and whatever the other person says they are agreeing upon them, and at last it will not help him, and he will have to follow the other person. Passive aggressive. Aggressive communicate exhibit indirect or disguised expression of hostility, res- resentment, or frustration. They may appear cooperative on the undermine undermine other or express their dissatisfaction. Passive aggressive communication often avoid direct confrontation and instead use sarcasm, backhanded compliments, or stubble subterfuge to express their displeasure. They may have difficulty expressing their need openly and restore to indirect method to communicate their dissatisfaction. In this type of communication, we generally don't directly disagree with the person, and we or more clearly we cannot directly disagree with the opinion, so we use our different languages or different methods to confront it, so that the other person realizes it and hopefully he corrects it. This are used sometimes so that in in that hostile situation where we can't do anything directly, or we don't have that much rights to speak up openly. So this was a small presentation on the topic communication, and this was the first presentation. So whatever the improvement will be needed, we will focus on that on the next upcoming presentation. Thank you.